Test 1 2. Welcome everyone to the City of Pembroke Pines City Commission meeting of May 7th of 2025. It's good to see you all. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Good.
I am here.
Vice Mayor Hernandez.
I am here.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Here.
Commissioner Schwartz.
Here.
Mayor Castillo.
Here.
City Manager Dodge.
Here.
City Attorney Gorin.
I'm here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I invite you all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing as Jenna Channing, who is a sixth grader at American Heritage, leads us both in the Pledge of Allegiance and in the National Anthem. Jenna, whenever you're ready.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That's Jenna Channing from American Heritage. Thank you so very, very much. And welcome. Okay, announcements of items to be pulled from the agenda. Thank you very much. I have several proclamations. Rabbi, will you join me, please? This is a proclamation of the City of Pembroke Pines declaring Jewish American Heritage Month. Whereas Jewish immigrants in America, ever since their first arrival to our shores in the 16th century, have played a central role in the creation, growth, freedom, prosperity, and strength of the United States. And whereas the biblical and contemporary history of the Jewish people and enduring values of the Jewish faith were vital sources of inspiration for the founding of the United States, the Civil Rights Movement, America's global leadership in the cause of freedom, Americans' commitment to social justice, and many of our country's most central tenets. And whereas through core Jewish beliefs such as the creation of man in the image of God, the infinite value of every human life, the need for a weekly Sabbath, and the importance of education in the lives of children, the Jewish community has helped to define America's character and values. And whereas following the rebirth of Zionism and the miraculous return of the Jewish people to the Jewish homeland, the United States was the first country in the world to recognize the State of Israel in 1948, and over the years has developed a deep friendship and unbreakable alliance with the State of Israel based upon shared values and mutual interests. And whereas for 43 years, every president of the United States has declared a period of time for celebrating the contributions to the United States of the Jewish community's history, heritage, and culture. And since 2006, the month of May has been presidentially declared to be Jewish American Heritage Month, pursuant to a bipartisan resolution of Congress. Now, therefore, I, Angelo Castillo, Mayor of the City of Pembroke Pines, along with the City Commission, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as Jewish American Heritage Month in the City of Pembroke Pines and call upon citizens to commemorate this occasion by appropriately celebrating our Jewish community's history, heritage, culture, and contributions to our country. Rabbi? Thank you so much. Some words?
Thank you so much. There's something about what we can all contribute, just like we just read through all the Jewish history and everything we've contributed to the United States of America. We can contribute here in the city of Pembroke Pines. We appreciate everybody, that everybody is inclusive, and we should build bridges of peace, of acknowledgement, of living together and prosperity, and just understanding that we all need to be together in what we do. And when we're all together, we can build an amazing city like this. Thank you so much, Angelo.
Thank you so very much, Rabbi. Let's take a photo. Hold the proclamation.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you so very much. Okay. This is a proclamation of the City of Pembroke Pines declaring Mental Health Awareness Month. Come on up. Thank you so much. Whereas NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness, in Broward County's mission is to enhance awareness and provide programs that support a world-class system for the treatment and recovery of individuals facing mental health challenges through education, support, and advocacy. NAMI Broward nurtures understanding, coping strategies, and positive outcomes for individuals and their families. And whereas mental health conditions are common, treatable, manageable health concerns, 1 in 5 adults will experience a mental health challenge in any given year, with half of all conditions beginning by age 14 and 75% by age 24. Early intervention leads to improved outcomes, and whereas equitable and accessible mental health care must be available to all individuals regardless of race, gender, age, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, or cultural beliefs. Communities that promote inclusive care, public awareness, and stigma reduction become safe spaces of support and recovery. And whereas too many children and adults living with mental health challenges never receive transformative treatment due to stigma and systemic barriers, individuals with mental health conditions are capable of leading meaningful lives, and we must celebrate resilience and recovery while promoting crisis intervention, training, diversion programs, and mobile crisis teams that reduce involvement in the criminal justice system and support compassionate care. Now, therefore, I, Angelo Castillo, Mayor of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, along with the City Commission, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as Mental Health Awareness Month in the City of Pembroke Pines and encourage all residents to support awareness, education, and access to services, affirming NAMI Broward County's message, you are not alone. Congratulations.
Again, thank you. Yeah. I'm Eunice Pierre-Lewis, and this is Susan Agami. We're on the board of NAMI Broward County. And again, we're just so grateful for this proclamation. It means a lot to us, just for your continued leadership in recognizing May as a month of mental health awareness. We appreciate you for that and just the things that we're doing in the community. So again, thank you so much.
Would you like to say a few words?
We do appreciate your sentiment and your leadership in acknowledging this. It is very important that we, as you stated, break the stigma and change how the world views and the community views mental health and is more supportive of it, so it's not something that people can't talk about. And like you said, it will then limit the law enforcement need to participate if we just take care of our own.
Well, I very much thank you. We thank you very much for everything that you do. Let's take a photo. Okay, we have Water Safety Month. We're well represented for Water Safety Month. This is a proclamation of the City of Pembroke Pines declaring Water Safety Month, whereas Pembroke Pines' future depends on the long-term health, safety, and wellness of its community of children, teens in our state, and whereas drowning is the single leading cause of death for children ages 1 through 4, and the second leading cause of injury-related deaths for children up to the age of 14 in the United States, affecting not only victims, but also families, emergency personnel, and hospitals of our community as a whole, and whereas drowning and aquatic-related injuries are preventable, and whereas a child should never be left unattended near water for any reason, and whereas evidence-based strategies like using barriers and alarms, constant water supervision, adult and children basic swimming lessons, and water competency skills, use of life jackets around open bodies of water, and learning CPR will engage our community in water safety for all ages. And whereas during the month of May, the City of Pembroke Pines, led by Pembroke Pines Fire, Police, and Recreation and Cultural Arts Departments, in collaboration with Water Smart Broward and community organizations, will engage our community in water safety for all ages. Now therefore, I, Angelo Castillo, Mayor of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as Water Safety Month in the City of Pembroke Pines, and urge all citizens to participate in efforts to reduce the risk of drowning and aquatic injuries. Congratulations, well done.
Actually, we have a presentation after.
Oh, you have a presentation? Let's do the presentation after you.
Yeah, actually I did. He's going to give a presentation to you, but I just wanted to say that this is a very important initiative for the both of us. This is our 3rd year coming to you, and it is the silent killer, drowning, and we bring awareness to all of you because it's 100% preventable. So please teach your children how to swim, get them enrolled in swim lessons. There are free lessons everywhere, and it's important. So.
You here? Come on up. Thank you very, very much. Okay. We're going to go. It's they have PowerPoint? They're going to give us an award. Oh, they're going to give us an award. Oh, wow. Here you go.
Thank you. Good evening, Mario Sosa with the Drowning Prevention Program at the Florida Department of Health. It is a privilege to be here to recognize the City of Pembroke Pines, which has shown dedication and commitment to water safety and the well-being of its residents. Through partnership with the Children's Services Council of Broward County, the Florida Department of Health of Broward County has developed the Water Smart Communities Initiative, which is focused on promoting water-safe practices throughout Broward County. Its goal is to prevent water-related accidents and eliminate factors that contribute to drowning. By taking part in this initiative, cities such as Pembroke Pines have demonstrated a commitment not only to protecting lives, but creating an environment where water safety is top priority. The City of Pembroke Pines has gone above and beyond in fulfilling its yearly requirements for this initiative. Through their proactive measures, they have worked tirelessly to implement and advocate for water-safe practices. On the behalf of the Florida Department of Health in Broward County, it is with great pride that I designate the City of Pembroke Pines a Gold Water Smart Community and present this plaque in recognition of their achievement. Please join me in congratulating them on their outstanding work and dedication to promoting safety in their community.
Thank you. you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, I don't have those. Who's doing that? Okay. Mrs. Stam, you want to do the,
We're going to do our...
they're not here, so we're going to wait? Okay, we're going to wait. All right.
Mayor, we'll go ahead and cover some time and do our presentation ahead of.
Please, go right ahead.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Almager, Fire Marshal and Division Chief with the Pembroke Pines Fire Department. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Dodge, Commission, and city staff. Our department's once again proud to collaborate with the Department of Health, the Pembroke Pines Police Department, and the Recreation and Cultural Arts Department on the critical issue of drowning prevention and water safety. May is recognized, as stated before, as Water Safety Month, a time to reaffirm our collective responsibility and protect the safety of our community, especially around all our pools and our waterways. Drowning actually remains, like we discussed before, the leading cause of unintentional death for children ages 1 to 4. Florida remains ranked highest in the United States for fatalities for drownings, and on average, we have more than 80 drownings in this state per year. And Broward County, at this time, has the highest number of recorded drowning deaths of any other county in the state of Florida. And unfortunately, most of these drowning deaths occur in our residential pools. So what can we do? You know, we understand that drowning is silent and it's a rapid event. It's the leading cause of death for children with autism as well. And distracted caregivers are the primary factor for childhood drowning incidences. So we know that this is an issue, and we realize that supervision is crucial, that water safety education is essential in our practice, and that prevention is the answer. Because we also know that the good news is that drowning is preventable. Through education, layered safety strategies, community partnerships like ours, we can and will make a measurable difference. Most importantly, let's highlight these things that we're doing to create some change here in the city. The city is providing Learn to Swim vouchers for free. We're also giving out water safety lanyards to all of our residents for their residential pools. We provided some for you up there in your bags. We implemented a pool alarm installation program where they can log into our city's website and scan a QR code if they're available at one of our events. And through community risk reduction, we go actually to their house and install the pool alarm for free. Additionally, we're teaching community CPR. We've established our Water Smart community, and we're doing community events just like we did this past weekend. Here's an image of this weekend's event. Our Water Safety Day event this past Saturday was a great success, and like always, we really appreciate the support, and we look forward to doing this again. Thank you, most importantly, for your time and your support, like always. Please follow us on social media. You can even scan the QR code that's provided up there for more information on water safety and our pool alarm safety program. We'd be more than happy to come to your home and install one for free. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Outstanding presentation. Okay, public comment. I have 2 speakers signed up. First is Gil Lerner. Mr. Lerner, your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Commission. My name is Gil Lerner, 1958 Northwest 74th Avenue. And I'd like to start by telling you thank you for coming out to my house as you promised to. And I wanted to say that what was happening there was we was focused.
If you could speak into the mic, please.
We was focused on violations I received, not the violation that I had called in that is still a problem at my house. And so I was just wondering what you guys saw about it, but I just want to continue because I have very little time to talk. After that, there was a hearing set for it, and it was pushed forward to give them an opportunity to correct it. And on the 11th hour, after 6 months of inspections and dragging it out, the meeting got canceled. The reason, I don't know why, but it didn't make sense. Shortly after that, I had called and see what's going on, and I didn't get an answer for 3 months. And then I was given an answer that it's a re-sod and doesn't require permits. Okay. I called South Florida Water Management District. They came out and clearly disagreed with that statement and said this is not what is approved, and the grading is not what is permitted, and it needs to be corrected. And they said speak with the neighbor, hire a contractor, get a survey done, and figure out what needs to be done. All I did was call in a violation for work being done without a permit after the fact, because I didn't care that they're doing whatever work they did. I just cared that it's causing a drainage issue that I never had in 17 years. Moving forward, of course, I make the complaint, and all of a sudden, I have a violation. And I have a violation for my brick pavers that I installed in 2009. The chapter and the ordinance or the code was a different number, different language, and 11 years later, the new code came out, and I'm being applied to a code 11 years later. I believe he exceeded the 10-year statute of limitations. Plus, I had 2 permits, a fence permit after the pavers, and then a violation for cutting down a tree, and then a permit to reinstall it. I believe discoverability was also there. For me to be all of a sudden violated, for what I'm being violated for, it doesn't make sense, because it wouldn't stick out driving by my house. Not to mention everything else that's sticking out. But with all due respect, I wish that you guys would properly handle the first violation that was called in, so I don't have a drainage issue at my house. I mean, you guys came out and you clearly saw the 6-inch ledge there by the fence difference. I mean, it's like this, and it's supposed to be a perfect V. And unfortunately, he's not here, Mr. Kennedy, to elaborate on that. And I'm not able to put pictures up. I'm not able to speak more than I thank you for exceeding the time a little bit to speak. And I don't know how to thoroughly get to the point, but I'm not going to give up, because I know I'm right, and something's being mishandled, and I'm sure it's just an error in either judgment, procedure, or communication, but I think it needs to be resolved. That
Okay.
problem, it needs to be resolved.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to let your mom speak because she signed up, and then, no, the 3 minutes are not transferable.
I'm sorry?
She'll come. Your name and address for the record, please.
I'm giving Gil my 3 minutes to
Yeah,
speak, okay?
Unfortunately, it's not transferable, but you know what? Go ahead.
I don't.
Are you sure you don't want to say anything?
No,
You've said what you needed to say, right?
no, I don't. I have nothing to say. Gil knows what to say.
Okay.
Go
If you
ahead.
want to say anything, you say.
No, you
Sit
speak.
down with your
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jim. She
Okay.
just had knee surgery.
All right. Please, we don't want her to get hurt.
No.
We promised that we would come to your house.
And you
I was there personally, along with the city manager, the city engineer, and our assistant city manager of planning. And as we explained to you there, and I was present, you have an air conditioner that was installed without a permit. You have a patio that was installed without a permit. You have a driveway that was installed without a permit. We explained to you that all you have to do is file for the permits, and that an inspection after the fact would be occur, and that the matter could be resolved in that manner.
I'm sorry, can you repeat, taking a what?
Huh?
What did you say, taking occur?
After you file for your permits, the inspection after the fact will take place, so that we can close out these violations and then move on from there. You told me, a general contractor. So you knew, per your license, that you needed to take out permits before you did this work. Okay, people forget, things happen. Code enforcement is doing their job. They're just enforcing the law. Nothing is being done to you simply because they have a gripe with you or anything like that. As to your neighbor, we're not here to discuss that case. If your neighbor wants to come and talk to us, we can come and talk to us. You were given very, very clear instructions, both in writing and in person, as to what it is that you need to do in order to resolve this. And we encourage you to do those things.
And I started doing everything that was asked of me, to get a survey, submit it.
Right.
I came down to try to apply for a permit. They didn't want to give me a permit to fill out a permit application. Because
People file permits here all the time, Mr. Lerner.
I know,
If
but-
if your permit application is complete, they have no basis to reject it. So I encourage you to follow the instructions that staff have given you in order to resolve your problem at your property. And that's about as good as we can do here today, okay?
No, I appreciate your advice and what you're telling me, but I at some point need to be given the opportunity to finish the order of events that happens, because number one, the violation does not match the law.
Look,
It's-
if you have a lawsuit to file, you should
No,
file
I
the
don't want to
lawsuit.
sue anybody.
We're not going to be able to settle it here today.
No, I don't want
Well,
to
we can-
settle anything. I want to ask
Sir,
just what.
We're not going to be able to settle it here today. I have a full agenda. Well, I've given you ample time.
Thank you.
We came to your house. We
But, sir,
provided
you're
you-
talking- Can I please use my minutes?
This
to speak?
will be your last comment, and then we have to move on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask the city attorney how the grandfathering provisions apply. Mr. Gorin? Sam?
Mr. Mayor, I'm not going to respond to the question of the speaker because this is a matter which is currently pending. It's a code violation currently before a magistrate. And for me to comment, I think would be a disservice, not just to the city commission and the city administration, but to the alleged violator as well.
Okay.
I think that's unfair to
Okay, well-
put you in that position collectively.
Okay, so when you have a.
I'm trying to be polite, but
No.
you've had your 3 minutes. We gave you your response. We have to move on with the agenda now.
So let me just conclude, because he didn't answer the question.
Please conclude.
I'm concluding.
Thank you.
Thank you again for the time.
All right.
Basically, you know what grandfather provisions are.
Yes,
and-
I'm aware.
And I can clearly show that I'm in a conforming state at the time, and I don't know why 11 years later, I'm being driven so hard to get this done, and my neighbors' violations, the gravity of their violations are so much heavier than mine,
I will conclude.
but they're
the
not doing anything.
I will conclude the conversation by saying this. While you are entitled to your legal theory and claim,
It's not a theory,
the city
it's
of-
fact.
okay,
Mr.
the city of Pembroke Pines believes that it has done the things that it needed to do, including making a visit to your home and giving you
Thank
very
you.
clear instructions as to what you have to do in order to clear up the property on your house.
But you don't let me
Okay,
share
but
an email from
we're-
South Florida Water Management
Like I'm
District
saying,
that
if you want to share any other additional information, please send it to code, and they will read it.
How can I
Sir,
exercise my
I-
constitutional rights to
Sir,
put up?
I gotta cut you off now. We have an agenda to do. I've given you lots of time. Thank you very much.
But with my
Okay.
constitutional rights, how
Okay.
can I get my stuff up there without, how do I get my?
We have to move on.
I understand,
Okay,
but.
thanks. Okay,
Yeah, You're violating my constitutional rights to
Okay,
speak.
all right, let's gently. Okay, we have to move on. Okay. The consent item today, agenda today consists of items 1 through 11. Commissioners, what is your pleasure?
Number 11, I'm sorry, number 1 and number 11, please.
Okay, hold on. Items 1 and 11. Any others? Any others? Any from the public? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for items through to 10.
Motion to approve.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion? Any from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Commissioner Schwartz, you're recognized for item 1.
Motion to approve a reciprocal use agreement between the City of Pembroke Pines and the School Board of Broward County for the use of facilities owned by each entity for a 5-year term commencing on August 24th, 2025.
Is there a second to the item?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Good. Commissioner Schwartz.
Mayor, I'm pulling the item in a collegial way. We've had discussions about term length, years. This is a 5-year term, and I just wanted to see if that's going to be the policy of the commission going forward. So we had prior discussions, I believe, at the last meeting and the meeting before. Commissioner Good raised a question about length of term. This is a 5-year commitment. I just want to have a discussion if that's the direction we want to go.
Mr. Dodge? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. He's questioning why there should be a 5-year term.
No, I'm not questioning the 5-year term. I'm questioning the discussion that the commission had regarding 5-year terms of all vendors of all contracts and whether or not this commission new policy is to roll back this type of length of term. So I wanted to have a quick discussion if this is what we want to do for all contracts or if it's going to be on a case-by-case basis.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. The operative word is, anybody who's receiving a compensation from us, which vendors. I mean, this is a reciprocal use agreement where we are with another governmental agency, so I don't know that, in my mind, am I at that same place about a 5-year term. This is, to me, sort of a standard understanding between a government agency and a government agency. So
Right.
I don't put this in that same category.
Tom, if you can
Just
speak a
pull
little
the mic a little closer.
Sorry. So I'm just saying that I don't find that this is in the same category of what we were having discussion for before, because this is a government-to-government agreement. So I'm okay with this item. Thank you, sir.
So I looked at that, Commissioner Good, and the way I'm reading the terms of the agreement is the Broward County School Board gets to utilize our parks and our labor to maintain those parks. I'm trying to think of a scenario where the city of Pembroke Pines has the use of high school gyms for basketball and other sports. I'm trying to recall how many times we've asked for Pines Middle, how many times we've asked for other facilities over the years, but in the backup, in the agreement, the cost to maintain is our burden. What I'm trying to find is where the equity of the other agency. There's a benefit to them. I'm trying to find the benefit to us when it comes to the financial side of it. So the agreement, well written. I mean, we were here. We approved it 5 years ago. In the backup, there is nothing regarding how much cost we've spent or the number of programs that Broward County School Board has utilized for this agreement. I like working with other government agencies. I want to support the item. but I also don't want to cherry pick one vendor contract, because this here is just it's all Pembroke Pines taxpayers funding these parks, and the school board benefits from that. I'm trying to find a facility that the school board has that we are using, not just once in a while, but frequently for our residents to use. And I'll give you an example, Commissioner Good. We've had Pines Rec closed now for years. The amount of programming that we could have done at MacArthur, tremendous opportunity. Pines Middle, tremendous opportunity. Even Pines Village Elementary, tremendous opportunity. I just don't know where the equity is. I just want to bring it on the table. If the manager believes that this agreement needs a little bit more direction, a little bit more focus on what we're getting in return, I'm happy to give the manager the opportunity to bring it back in 2 weeks. But again, I just want to float it out there because as policymakers, we have to be consistent.
Ms. Sorensen, do you have something to
Christina
add?
Sorensen, Assistant City Manager. So this agreement is a standard agreement that Broward County gives to every city that has schools in their district. Right now, the only thing that we utilize Broward County Schools for is actually at Pasadena Elementary during their football program. The high school, the principal allows us to utilize their outfield for additional warm-up and to utilize the parking lot. And vice versa, they utilize Chapel Trail Elementary. The elementary school there uses it for their field day, and Pasadena Lakes uses Pasadena Lakes Park for their field day. That's pretty much it. The agreement is there as a placeholder in the event something comes up and the school wants to utilize the fields or we want to utilize one of the schools. The foundation is laid there. We still have to go and ask permission. It isn't just a free-for-all. They still have to ask us for permission, and if it works, great. And if it doesn't, then we can say no and they can say no. So it's really just that we don't have to go back to the school board every time that we want to utilize a school or that they want to utilize one of our parks. It's been a standard agreement we've had in place for many, many years.
Ms. Sorensen, thank you for the input. I voted for this 5 years ago, August of 2020, August 5th of 2020. I was here, I voted for it. Actually, I wasn't here, we were on Zoom. That was COVID, right? So I voted for it. I'm just looking for the way it's written. Okay, it's a one-sided ask. The return, for example, it'll be fantastic if the Broward County School Board would utilize this building for graduations. That would be a fantastic opportunity if we have graduation classes of Broward County size that can fit in this building instead of having to go up to Davie. I would love to see that opportunity. Well, if we have declining population in classroom sizes in public schools, that means that the high schools are getting smaller, which could mean that they could actually utilize this building. Maybe not for Pembroke Pines High School, but another high school within Broward County that can be hosted here. That would be equitable. But to ask our vendors to maintain fields, equipment, and all that, that's a one-sided deal. I like to find where we could kind of meet in the middle. So I would encourage administration to let's develop a new way moving forward with Dr. Hepburn, and let's see if we can come up with something that benefits the community as a whole. Instead, I'd say this is a boilerplate contract for them. I get that. But in Pembroke Pines, we care deeply about community and making sure that tax dollars are shared equally. That's all. That's my second point to the financial side. More importantly, the 5-year deal. A 3-year deal, if we see it every 3 years, doesn't bother me a bit. But if we're going to be consistent with contracts, procurement going forward, some things we have to take a look at. There is a cost to this contract, even though there's nothing in the backup. Thank you.
Anybody else on this?
Yes, I think I'd like to push back on the fact that, or what you mentioned, it being one-sided. It says here, reciprocal use agreement. And I think this, as Ms. Sorensen said, is simply an agreement for insurance purposes, for for laying down the groundwork of how we can ask. This does not mean that Broward County Schools will say no to absolutely anything that we ask. We can put it in writing, Christina can ask, and we can do our job as elected officials to also go to the board there and request some other kind of correspondence as to allowing us to do certain things if we haven't been allowed to in the past. I think taking this as it's one-sided, in the backup it does, or at least in the financial impact detail, it does include that they use some of these other facilities, or we use the Flanagan High School track. We also use the Pasadena Elementary softball field, so I don't believe that this is one-sided. This very clearly is simply a basis for us to be able to request things moving forward in the future, and if we see that these requests are not being approved, then that's maybe our job to talk to the elected officials at Broward County School Board to assess why that's not the case and bridge that gap. But I don't think saying no to an agreement like this one would be the right way to go about it.
Anyone else? Yeah, I'll chime in. I wish this was a perpetual agreement. I think that agreements can be terminated at any time, but the reciprocal nature of the agreement is one that should be in place at all times, because the benefit to the city of Pembroke Pines is to our children and and our families who use the facilities and who are also users of the school system. And I see it is very clearly a reciprocal agreement. There is no one-sided to the agreement at all. Every city in Broward enters into it in good faith, and if it was up to me to change the term, it would be indefinite. It would not be limited to any number of years, because all that does is occupy our time. And I think that this is a good thing for the city of Pembroke Pines, and I'm going to support it. Anything else on this? Anything from the public? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Show it passes unanimously. Commissioner Schwartz, item 11.
11, motion to approve the minutes of the April 16, 2025 Budgeting and Visioning Workshop and Regular Commission meeting.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Good. Commissioner Schwartz.
Mr. Dodge, I have had conversations regarding action minutes, detailed minutes, transcribed minutes, in order to assist the clerk the most efficient and effective way to get minutes to us. When I read not just these minutes, but minutes of the past, and now I'm speaking to my colleagues, there's an editorial nature to some of the ways that it's being written, and when we adopt this, it could be taken out of context. Mayor, you recall our beloved Judy Nugent. There was a shift in the way that minutes were taken prior to 2012. It was somewhere between 2008 to 2012.
Commissioner, excuse me, I have to interrupt.
Sure.
This is a motion about the minutes of April 16th, 2025. If you wish to have a discussion about how minutes are done or whatever, that has to be a separate item.
Okay.
Because that was not noticed to the public. So,
so let me make myself as
we're limited here to what,
example.
let me finish. We're limited here to what is in the minutes of April 16th, 2025.
Okay, so just bear with me here so I can find, I'll use myself as an example, and certainly my colleagues can take a look at their parts of the minutes that may or may not reflect either the thinking or the way it actually was put out in the public domain. In the workshop, Commissioner Schwartz said that the residents are concerned about their financial stability, extended his assistance on the best way to move forward on behalf of the city, and requested to place focus on the public safety building. Now, that's not what I said. Parts of it I said, but that's not what I said. And so that's editorialized in order to summarize what was portrayed on digital recording. Moving on to further in the meeting, if you just bear with me here. This was the one that really caught my attention because this doesn't make any sense at all. It's going to be with respect, Commissioner Schwartz asked, I'm on page, I apologize, Commissioner. This would be page 7 of the minutes. It would be number 8 of the PDF of the backup.
Hold on one second,
I don't have
please.
you both. What page is it? It's page 8 of the PDF of the item, and it's page 7 in your book.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Schwartz asked where the city was placed in the region with respect to having a public beach and addressing the saltwater. I have no idea what the heck that is, because it's certainly not what I said. I specifically spoke about rising sea level, hydrostatic pressure, and the infiltration of salt water in water wells. I said that, but public beaches isn't something that came out of my mouth. So when I read this, it looks like there's a clear indication that I should be drug tested if that's what I said.
All right.
I didn't say that.
Okay, I think that what we can do on this, Commissioner Schwartz, Madam Clerk, I'm putting a check next to the item on number 7. What was your other item on the?
Well, Mayor, because I'm being limited to only this item, I'm making myself
It's not that you're limited.
as an
It's that
example.
that's what the item is.
I want to give my colleagues an opportunity to review. I'm
And
sure you did.
You
I'm
need
sure
to
you
bring
did.
it. You need to bring an item to do that. That's not what's on the agenda. What's
Well-
on the agenda right now are the minutes for this particular meeting. If you have specific comments with respect to the minutes in the meeting, we will address.
So specifically, my recommendation on these minutes would be the following.
Okay.
On these minutes. Item number, whatever it is. These are the electeds who spoke, these are the members of the public that spoke, and that's it. No detail of what was
Again,
said. I can make a motion to amend that, sir.
You can make a motion to
I'm
amend.
not going to do that. My point is that there are things taken way out of context.
If you wish to bring an item to discuss how minutes are taken, you can do that. What's before us right now are the minutes of April 16th. You have indicated one comment on page 7. Are there any other comments that you disagree with?
I did not review the comments written about my colleagues and what they said. Because
Okay.
I have no idea
Let's let
the
them.
frame of mind where
let-
you were at
let's
at
let
that
them-
meeting. I
let's
can't
let-
recall what you were thinking.
Okay, so, Madam Clerk, there is a error with respect to Commissioner's comment on page 7.
One more, sir. You're asking me, okay, so on page 6,
Okay,
2 lines up from Mr. Welch. Commissioner also discussed the options and asked for a more decisive choice from the options presented. I don't know what that means.
okay. Madam Clerk, Commissioner Schwartz has a concern with respect to the last sentence on the last full paragraph on page 6. Anything else?
Making myself an example, that's all I have. I can't speak for anything else in the minutes that may pertain to my colleagues.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else on this item?
Yes, I'd like to add on to Mr. Schwartz's.
You, hold on one second. We'll go to the public in a second. Madam Clerk, you're going to need to go back and review the notes and make the corrections. And you can do that by email to the entire city commission in terms of what your amended item is. Anything else in front of us? Okay. Anyone from the public wish to speak? Your name and address for the record, please. Please turn on the mic.
Gil Lerner, 1958 Northwest 74th Avenue, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33024.
You're recognized.
Thank you. It's kind of coincidental that Commissioner Schwartz mentioned what he just did, because I've had experienced the same exact thing. I go back and I look at these commission meetings because, you know, it's what people do. And there's so many inconsistencies where there's been editorial chops that suggest other context. Me and my mother came to 2 meetings and we left after we spoke. As the video continued, it showed us still sitting there. That's bizarre. I don't know what's going on with the technology here, but like Mr. Schwartz said, either that guy needs to be drug tested or the equipment needs to be drug tested, because it's not functioning properly. Because if you take a phone that someone recorded these meetings here, it is conflicting.
Okay.
And I don't know why you guys haven't noticed it except Mr. Schwartz. I've noticed it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I'm glad he spoke up about it, because I put it to the side like no one's going to care and just broom it under the rug. But, you know, I'd like to see things get, you know, tightened up around here, because it's our tax dollars and we'd like to get the best value out of it. And that's suggesting bizarre, who knows what it means and what the point of it was. But I guess I'll see what happens as it continues to become more bizarre, because that's what it's doing. It's snowballing. It's not melting.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. Okay, anybody else?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to defer this item, because Commissioner Schwartz actually did bring up a rather interesting point, and I'd like to have a little bit more time with this.
Okay, do you want to bring it back as a discussion about minutes?
No, these particular
just these particular
minutes, I'd like to defer them till the following week.
Motions-
Commissioner Schwartz can bring up his other items, as you said, under a separate thing, which I don't disagree with, but these particular minutes I'd like to defer.
Okay.
To the next
There's been a motion to defer the minutes to the next meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, moving on. We have
Number 12.
item 12, City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Number 12 is a motion to pass proposed ordinance number 2024-26 on second and final reading. It reads as follows for the public record. Proposed ordinance number 2024-26 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, amending Title 7 entitled Traffic Code of the City's Code of Ordinances by amending Section 70.99 entitled Penalty to provide for increased fines and applicable surcharges for municipal parking violations, amending Title 9 entitled General Regulations of the City Code of Ordinances by amending Section 93.99 entitled Penalty to provide for increased fines and applicable surcharges for obstructing a designated fire zone, fire lane, or fire hydrant, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. This is the second and final reading, Mayor and Commission. There'll be a public hearing associated with that on the floor for the record. Thank you, Mayor.
Is there a motion on the item?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is made by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Commissioner Good. Is any discussion?
Just one comment. I said this on the first reading. I'd love to see the police department's very robust social media operation, Amanda, to push out information on this. She does wonderful work. I know I said it before, but just putting it on the record again, look forward to educating the public, because this is a public safety issue that affects you all and also our fire department. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Anything further? Seeing none. Any from the public? Clerk will call the roll.
Vice Mayor Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Good,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwartz,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Castillo.
Yes, and by a unanimous vote, this is a law.
For the record, Mr. Mayor and Commission, the permanent number for those who choose to know is number 2045 for item number 12. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First reading ordinances.
13, if I may, the resolution, Mr. Mayor.
13 resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner. Number 13 is a motion to adopt proposed resolution number 2025-R14, which is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, approving and adopting amendment number 1 to the tri-party agreement for the Pembroke Pines Mobility Hub Capital Project among the City of Pembroke Pines, that's the city, Metro Transportation Engineering and Construction Cooperative, that's the MTECC, and the Broward Metropolitan Planning Organization, better known as the BMPO, for additional grant funding in the amount of $247,752 from the Federal Transit Administration, that's known as the FTA, and to implement the construction of pedestrian lighting at the Pembroke Pines Mobility Hub project and providing for an effective date, number 15 on the floor for 13 on the floor for consideration. 13. Thank you, Mayor.
Motion to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Good. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if, is it possible to have staff just to give a summary of this very lengthy document? However, it's a very valuable addition to this city that we're receiving funding for.
Mr. Dodge?
Mr. Stam can come down and make that presentation.
Okay.
Mike Stam is the city manager, director of planning and economic development. Obviously, Carl Kennedy's here. He can also answer some questions. This mobility hub project's been in the works for many, many years. For those of you who've been on the commission for a long time, we started looking at a parking garage almost, I don't even know, 10 years ago at City Center, using some funds from the feds. That policy changed and we turned into this mobility hub concept. If you look in your backup, you can see the initial study that was conducted about connectivity and how this connectivity would go through City Center, and it's part of a grant to move forward with that. The main focus of this project is a multi-use path down Washington Street that will connect to other multi-use paths through the Rain Tree community, provide new bus shelters for Pines Boulevard in front of City Center, and also mobility stops along the way, including bike lanes. One of the proposals inside here is to add a mobility stop next to our Memorial Park in the back. As you all may know, some of the highest density that we have in the city is right here inside City Center. So providing mass transit opportunities inside City Center is one of those items. Mayor Castillo, you'll know this because some of your residents, when you're the commissioner in District 4, Commissioner Hernandez, you're learning this, or Vice Mayor Hernandez, you're learning this now. They want to come to City Center. We don't have bus routes that bring them back here. We don't have bus stops that bring them back here. So that's some of the other components that are part of this project. So I hope that summary reminds us all where we're at. This is a long-running project that we've been working with the MPO on, but we're excited to get it going.
Could you remind us what is the total amount of funds that we are receiving for this mobility project?
Carl, if you remember correctly, 2.7? Yeah. About 2.7 million.
Well, that's a very good score. Thank you very much for that.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anything else on this item?
Yeah, I'd like to just advocate that we continue to pursue projects like this, especially on walkability or cycle lanes, things like that. You guys hear me talk about it all the time, but the complete streets, whether it's through the MPO, through FDOT, or through city projects, I think this is really, really crucial as we move forward to a bigger, brighter Pembroke Pines. And this is going to not only help our residents who don't have cars, but increase physical activity within our residents and just the ability to not go into city center without a car or with a car. So I think this is really, really important for us to highlight. And once we move forward a little bit more on these projects, highlight that this is what our taxpayer funds go into and that this is the kind of changes that we're looking to make for the future of Pembroke Pines.
Thank you, Commissioner. It is an excellent project, and we're very thankful for it. Anything further? Any from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show passes unanimously.
For the record, Mayor and Commission, the permanent number for those who need to know for item number 13 is 3904, 3904.
Thank you.
14, Mr. Mayor.
Please proceed.
Thank you. With your permission, this is a motion to approve proposed resolution number 2025-R15, which is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pembroke Pines, Florida, amending resolution number 3899, which is approving a plat note amendment. That's a delegation request to the Pembroke Lakes South Plat for approximately the 9.9 acre parcel generally located at the northwest corner of Pembroke Road and Hiatus Road, authorizing the city manager or the city manager's designee to take any action necessary to implement the intent of the resolution, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and for the record, providing for an effective date. On the record and on the floor is number 14, resolution number 2025-R15. Thank you, Mayor and Commission.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Moved by Commissioner Good. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Any from the public? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show passes unanimously.
For the record, Mayor and Commissioner, the permanent number having no public comment on the item is number 3905, 3905.
Thank you very much. Regular agenda, any items? I see none. Reports of the league. Commissioner Rodriguez.
I believe we're still under
Florida League.
For Florida League, I'll go. As we all know, the session has been extended, and there's been conversations about property taxes being extended, or the conversations of property taxes being extended to next legislative session. They actually came up with a select committee on property taxes, of which from Broward County we have Representative Casal, Gottlieb, Panchovsky, and Woodson participating in. I wanted to bring that to our attention, not just because it's something that the league has talked about, but also personally that I've seen. We really do need to put a full faith effort into letting our residents know exactly where their property taxes are going, because there's been a lot of conversation about reducing these property taxes, and people see that as obviously relief coming to their pockets. But I also think that while I truly believe in the financial relief for our working families, it's really, really important for us to understand that reducing property taxes will negatively affect us, especially for our first responders. We obviously fund fire, police, EMS, and local infrastructure, and not having the needed funds for this means that we're putting our families at risk. We need to start doing the work now from the city's perspective, and individually talking to residents, letting them know exactly where their property taxes go, and not necessarily wait until this comes up for next session, because it may be dangerously too close to them passing some kind of law that would reduce this in a negative way, and urge them that, I mean, from my perspective, what I hear from people isn't a concern mostly about property taxes. It's the insurance cost. It's the fact that people are getting hiked in their insurance rates and getting reduced services. So it's really important for us to advocate on behalf of our residents, talk with our state representatives, and having those conversations now rather than later, because by the time that comes, we may be kind of stuck in the mud, and we really need to maybe use this budget season to have these conversations, either use our budget advisory board, and really educate our residents as to where their money goes, what services are being provided to them, and how much safer they are with this being put into good use, rather than just telling the state that they can do whatever they want with our funds.
Yes, that's correct. I have a document in front of me that was provided at the request of State Representative Robinson that shows that for the 2024-2025 adopted budget, the city of Pembroke Pines collected slightly over $101 million in property tax revenues, which represents about 37% of the total budget of the city. So it's about 1/3 of the city's budget comes from property tax. However, it funds 61% of public safety. And what I find interesting about this discussion is that there has been no proposed alternative for how cities, not just Pembroke Pines, but every city in Florida, there's about 1,000 of them, I think, will pay for their public safety. Some folks are saying, well, we could increase the sales tax. Well, let's look at that. I did a quick Google search, and if the documents that I looked at are correct, the state of Louisiana has the highest sales tax in the United States at about 9.6%. In order to bridge the gap in Florida, Florida would have to have somewhere between a 12 and 15% sales tax. Now, just think about what that does in terms of your own budget. Let's hold out the nightmare that it would create for tourism, which is our economic mainstay in the state. But for your own budget, people spend much more, many times more in buying goods and services that are taxable under the sales tax than they do paying property tax. Senior citizens, people in low incomes, everyday families would end up paying more tax under a 15 or a 12% property tax than they do currently, sales tax than they do currently under a property tax. So I don't even, but even the sales tax hasn't overtly been proposed, as there has been no proposal. So this is like half an argument. Let's get rid of property tax, but there has been no stated alternative for how to raise the money. So the fact that this is even being taken seriously when what we're dealing with is an incomplete sentence is mind-boggling to me. This has actually come up in the legislature before. I remember the last time it came up, they impaneled a group of people who studied this very carefully, and they wrote a report. I don't know where the report is, Mike, but it's somewhere up in Tallahassee. And it basically went on and on, many, many pages. I remember seeing it. And it basically said, at this time, it is not advisable. That was basically their way of saying this doesn't work. If the state legislature wants to impanel another committee to take a look at the matter, who could object to that? If that's really what they want to do, certainly it falls into their purview to take a look at it. But I think the Floridians are entitled to know what the alternatives are going to be if we're looking to do this. If what you just put out to the public is let's eliminate property tax, well, that's sort of like saying, let's make sure that why don't we just hand out free mortgages? Well, how does that get paid for? Well, why don't we just hand out free bus tickets? How does that get paid for? Let's all do free water. How does that get paid for? And the danger in this is that if it goes through and there is no alternative source of funding, every city will be thrown into chaos, and then you won't find police officers on the streets. Every city in the state will be thrust into fiscal urgency. So I have to tell you that I'm kind of disappointed, not that the property tax discussion is taking place. I don't have a problem with them studying any option. I don't like that it has come up without any viable alternative. And this, to me, is just not a very good way for any state, especially Florida, to do business. But those are my comments.
I think what you may be referring to, Mayor, is when our now Secretary of State was Speaker of the House, Speaker Rubio, which his proposal was to eliminate the state portion of property taxes. This is going, I think I was still in college. It was a while ago. But it was to eliminate the state portion of your property tax bill and replace it with a 2% increase in the sales tax, which would have gone from, I guess, 6 to 8. Rough numbers, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Back then. I worked for the Miami-Dade mayor, and he was as fiscally conservative as they come.
Right.
And his famous line always was, there's no free lunch. One way or another, if you cut from a government budget, that impacts the residents, whether it's fewer police officers, fewer first responders, fewer inspectors, which we do need code enforcement. I know that there are discussions about them as well. And we need professionals like our assistant city managers and others to run this city. That's why it's one of the most desirable cities in all of Florida to live in. I can tell there's a lot of traffic because people move here because they love this city. So while I love the tax cut just as much as anybody else, I hope Speaker Perez, the Senate President, and Governor DeSantis let cooler heads prevail. It has become very personal between our three government heads. You can just read the quotes in the news. I hope cooler heads prevail, and they do impanel a group of elected officials and experts to figure out if there is the opportunity to cut taxes in a responsible way, we will welcome it. But if it is going to jeopardize the jobs of first responders, I think they need to think twice about it. We need more cops, and there's a national effort to recruit more law enforcement professionals. I think this would hurt that effort, and no one wants to have fewer cops in our communities. We have issues recruiting firefighters. not just in the city of Pembroke Pines, nationwide. And I think this would hurt it without it being responsible and done in a way that truly gives residents in the state, there's 23 million of us. We're the third most populous state in the country. More time to digest. Not everyone is like so many of us who read about the going on and comings up in Tallahassee every day. It's a 60-day session. Even they couldn't finish in 60 days. So I really hope that they do impanel this group. However the makeup, I don't care. I know that Commissioner Rodriguez mentioned names, and I want them all on there, but get some tax experts as well, not just the elected officials I hope are named to that panel. And I really hope that they think this through so that it doesn't impact all 410, I think, plus municipalities in 67 counties across the state.
Anyone else on this item? Commissioner Rodriguez, anything else?
No, not for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Broward League update?
Yes, Mayor.
I was referring to Commissioner Rodriguez.
No, we don't take position
Unfortunately,
until
that
June.
doesn't happen until June, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that'll be
I was
me.
asking if she had any update on meetings or lunches or anything like that.
Would you like to know about? I'm sorry.
No, I don't have any updates because we
Thank-
don't take position
okay.
until June.
All right,
But
thank
I
you.
believe Commissioner Schwartz did attend the last meeting.
Okay, good.
Report.
Report, the MPO representative?
Can I do the
Oh,
Broward League?
you have a report from the last meeting?
I do.
Okay.
So, Mayor, I asked Karen to reach out to all of us because it was a super, super big meeting. For the first time, Broward County listened to the elected officials with the penny surtax. We have a new formula through the Third Amendment. I asked City Manager Dodge to send all of you an executive summary of what the Third Amendment's going to look like. Commissioner Lamar Fisher did an outstanding job. He's a consummate public servant. Laid out the vision of the Board of Commissioners. They're taking up the item, I believe, the first week of June, and he asked that cities take up the item as soon as possible, but no later than August. By doing there's no more, with the Third Amendment, there won't be any more ask and wait. They're going to send us the money up front. It's my pleasure to present a faux check, one that Mr. Bonilla cannot put through the ATM, okay? But I do want to hand this to the city manager. October 1st, 2025, if the city commission chooses to join the Third Amendment, we have $3.361888, $3.3,061,888 being sent directly to our treasury to be used as a supplement to the items that are needed most. So I'd like to hand this down to Mr. Dodge. We are number 2 in the county behind Fort Lauderdale. Cities that don't reach a level of formula, they have a formula for them as well. Cities that wish to not participate in those projects, the formula still stands. We can go up to as many as 3 years in an escrow account if there are items that we wish to do that we just don't have the money for. Mr. Stam had just mentioned the parking garage. We could use this money to build a parking garage and then make revenue off of this parking garage in order to benefit and reinvest back into our community. This is an absolute game changer. And I'm looking forward to seeing Broward County Board of Commission pass the Third Amendment and for us to get it as soon as possible. Knowing that I can't bind the commission, I did publicly state that I look forward to bringing it to this commission as soon as possible, and I mentioned it to Mr. Dodge to see if he can get it onto the second meeting in June agenda for us. Also,
They gave you that check, or you made it up yourself?
no, they gave it to all the elected officials.
Wonderful.
Now, the other thing that we all received, and you will receive this as well, it's on its way. The Broward League of Cities put together basically a snapshot of what they do day in, day out, and the history of what they've accomplished. I'm not going to show you the video tonight. That's not the intent. You're going to get this, and I think it was well produced. I want to thank Mayor Brunson for her leadership, and the Broward League, Selly, of course, and Mary Lou for working diligently to be able to advocate and communicate to the public what the Broward League can do for all of Broward. That being said, the next general meeting has been canceled. You should have received an email about the 15th. And then we have our installation, which if you're going, please RSVP. Now, here's what's interesting about the RSVP. We recently received another email from another agency asking about our attendance. So between now and the installation, I'd like to get some guidance from the city attorney on how we go about that guidance, so that we don't have to go through a process that I don't understand why we're going through that process. But that being said, I just want to have some clarity before we hit installation day. So,
Mr. City Attorney, could you please memo us on that item?
Mr. Mayor, if you will, the issue that is before you this evening for this conversation piece, we are working within our office to address the legal issues associated with gift giving, gift taking, and events. So it is something which we are working on, but not prepared to answer that question tonight.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, MPO representative?
I don't have a meeting until tomorrow.
Okay, no commission items. Anything else? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.